Hey guys, so I'm going to show you how to do brake pads and rotors on a 2002 Honda Accord. So first thing, make sure your car is on jack stands, and then take the two bolts off that hold the caliper in place. So there's one on the top and one on the bottom. Okay, after we do that, then what you want to do is take the caliper off. You can put it on top of the rotor / brake dust cover. I usually use a cinder block, and I put it on that. Just anything to make sure that the brake line isn't being tugged at. So after that, take the brake pads out. Make sure you note that the one closer to the engine bay has a big metal indicator on it. See that big metal indicator? So make sure that that one goes back in the right spot, when we come back later. Okay, and then take off the two bolts that hold the bracket in place. So that's the first one, and there's one on top too. So there it is. And then after that, you can take the bracket off. And then you can take the rotor out. Hondas are pretty infamous for putting these little screws in the rotor to hold them in place from the factory. So I have another video on how to get those out if you're having issues with those. So if you click the link, you can see it. Okay, then spray your brake clean on your new rotors to get the oil off from the factory. And then you can put the new rotor back on. Make sure everything is lined up. Okay, and then everything else is in reverse order. So put the bracket back on, put the two bolts back in there. That's the first one, and there's a second one up there. And then go ahead and tighten them, of course. Okay, and then take a C-clamp and force the piston back into the caliper, like flat into the caliper. Make sure if your brake reservoir, the fluid line is full, that you take some out, because what you're going to basically do is force fluid back through the line, and that's going to end up in the reservoir. So if it's full, when you start, then you're going to make a big mess basically in your reservoir. So make sure that's good. And then put your new pads in. Make sure the shims are on there. If you want to do the brake grease, go ahead. I never do that. Never had any issues. And then make sure that the metal indicators on the inside pad closer to the engine bay. And then put your caliper back on. Okay, and then just put the two bolts that hold the caliper back in place. Back in. Make sure that those little accordion-looking boot things are flat. After you've kind of wiggled around and stuff, just so I don't know. I guess so dirt doesn't get into those bolt holes. Okay, so after that, tighten them up, and that's it. So I hope this helped you.